Hey everyone, Simon here. Welcome back to another edition of looking at cryptocurrencies through the lens of astrology. And the measure of any predictive device is how it's done in the past. So if you don't know, we've had a class called Crypto Questions Answered. It's been going on for about a month and a half now. And in that class, we give predictions on questions asked by students, some of my own research, and it's sort of a collaborative group where we look at the charts and try to answer your questions. So so far we've done very well, I believe. We've picked out some winners and gems. Some of our picks haven't yet blossomed, but they will soon, hopefully. And so today's predictions, I want to share with you a little bit from one of our last classes. And this is specifically about the price of silver. So the question was, when will silver go up, basically? All right, and I'm going to play this clip for you, and we'll comment on it. When Moon was conjunct K2, this would have been a low period. So that is 19 weeks ago. How long is 19 weeks? 133 days.
Yeah, about 4 months ago. So it should be about April. You're right. It sort of matches.
Does it match? Let's just, because I want it to be, I want it to make, so that's 100. So I'm going to stop here. The reason we're looking backwards before we make a prediction is to see if the significator we've selected in the horoscope is the correct significator, because garbage in, garbage out. If you want to make a good prediction, you have to have the right data. And so now what we're confirming, what I'm looking at in this chart is Moon is at 21 degrees. K2, the south node, is at 2 degrees. There's a 18, 19 degree difference between them. So we take the 19 degrees and we make that into, that's our unit. We have 19 units of time. So now I've selected weeks because it's the most probable unit. So I'm asking, hey, 19 weeks ago, before August 28th, was silver at its absolute lowest? Because K2 indicates a huge dip, huge recession. It's very bearish. And so this is what, so 19 weeks before August 28th is right around middle of April. And I actually, after class, I wanted to look this up to see if we were on point. And it's actually, sorry, middle of March, 133 days, which is about 4.5 months. So 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So it's about right, right? So I think the dip was, in fact, here, let me calculate it, a little earlier, but what we're trying to establish is the week's time frame accurate versus months or days. So that seems to play out. So we'll come back to, let's go back to what we're talking about here in the video, because this is interesting. 33 days divided by 30, about 4.5 months ago. So when was that?
So March end, beginning of April.
Okay, was silver at a low then? Because that's when Moon would have been with K2.
Yes,
yeah, it was around $5.
Okay, so then that confirms that we have the correct significator, the Moon. You see, another significator is Venus for silver, but Venus is not doing much here. So I think Moon is our significator. So since that time, Moon has been moving forward towards a conjunction with Jupiter. So as it keeps going, I think it's going to increase for another 2 months. Our unit is weeks. Another 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, I think it'll hit all-time kind of highs. I don't know, what is the all-time high for silver?
I only know SLV, which is the index that follows it. It's $28.
Okay, and where is that now?
It's somewhere about, it hovers between 24 and 26 right now.
25.58.
Okay,
Yeah.
so look, it's gonna get it. It's gonna hit its all-time high as Moon comes to conjunct Jupiter. Then, so that's in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So there's still upside. It's gonna hit an all-time high. Then, as Moon and that's Moon Jupiter conjunction is all about publicity. Then there's going to be tremendous hype. Everyone's going to be like, "Oh my God, have you seen silver?" Probably already it's happening because this yoga is there.
Yeah,
Have
it's
you looked
happening.
at silver? Are you guys paying attention to this? Oh my God, this is the stock everyone should be in. Blah blah blah. Anybody who has Moon Jupiter is good at hype, advertising, publicity. It will reach its peak when Moon touches Jupiter's degree in 2.5 weeks, I believe, if our units of time are correct. Then it will stay up there for another week or so. But then in 7 weeks from today, so basically end of October, it's going to touch Pluto. That's not nice. That will be the beginning of problems. And then 9 weeks, it'll change signs and conjunct Saturn, and there'll be a big dip, a big fall. Okay, what do you think of that?
Do you count?
Okay, so that's our kind of prognosis for silver. And there's a question that comes up here then about gold. And we can use the same chart. We can look at the same chart for gold. But just to recap silver, it looks like in November, there should be a dip and a loss of interest in silver because according to our significator, 9 weeks from now, Moon will change signs. And it'll go with Saturn, who is the opposite of Jupiter. He's depressive rather than, helpful. So I'm going to fast forward here a little bit and to where we talk about the sun. It's something like silver because Venus is silver. It's one of the lights in the sky. It's the third brightest. Moon is the second brightest. So it's not going to be gold. Gold is its own thing, and it's doing just fine. Look at gold here. Maga, I am strong. Gold is going to be doing just fine for quite some time. So the comment here about gold is that the sun is in its own sign, and it's in a very powerful asterism called Maga. Now, about 6 weeks ago, it hit the royal star Regulus, or 6 units of time ago, I should say, which, since we're using weeks here, we're going to say 6 weeks. So now I want to check that to see if that plays out, because again, if we're going to make predictions about gold, we want to make sure that we're using the right significators. So 6 weeks is about a month and a half before August 28th. So if we look a month and a half, that's mid-July, and that's exactly the point at which gold exploded. It was 1798. If you look at this, July 16th here. I think you can see my screen. I hope I'm sharing my screen. Yeah, I am. You can see mid-July, and then boom, it explodes up, right? So that was the point at which gold just took off and went up to over 2,000. So looking at the past, this looks like this is a correct significator. So now we can venture forward and predict. And the sun has really nothing, no opposition ahead of it. So the next landmark, the next touchstone would be when it reaches 23 degrees, which is 11 weeks from now. It will be exactly trine Jupiter and conjunct Mercury. So 11 weeks from August 28th is 11 times 7 is 77. So that's a month and a half, basically, just over a month and a half. So that means September, so mid to late October, right? Mid to late October, let's see, 12 degrees, 11 and a half, 11.5. It's really 11.5 times 7. So 80 days, 30, 60. Yeah, so 2 months and 3 weeks. So August 28th, September, October 20. Yeah, so mid-November. I'm sorry, mid-November. Not a month and a half, 2 months and a half. So middle of November, gold should hit new all-time highs, okay? Because of this trine with Jupiter, it's just boom, it's going to explode. So if you think 2000 is pretty high, or 1900, you know, I think mid to late November, you're going to see new highs. So now, why is that? Part of the reason, as we've looked at in class, and by the way, if you haven't joined us for class yet, I'll have some more information a little bit later on how you can come and ask your own questions, look at the coins and the stocks and the things that you'd like to look at, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff that we have, free videos, instructional videos, so forth, with if you decide to become a lifetime member. Anyway, in that class, we looked at the chart of the United States. And in the chart of the United States, there is a tremendous, the beginning of a Rahu-Saturn period starts November. This is in the James Kelleher United States chart. Saturn, at the same time, will be transiting the second house. So this looks like a downturn in the US economy. And gold, of course, is the hedge against such things. So it makes sense that that this would follow. And the other part is that, in fact, this is right after the election, and I think people will be, you know, I think there will be a new government, and with that comes a good dose of, you know, reality will hit the nation and so forth. I'll talk about that in another video. But so Rahu Saturn, which begins November, is a depressive period for the US economy, which as a result should see gold prices go higher. So even from the point of view of just forget astrology, just you know, economics, gold looks like it's poised to go higher. But from the chart, it is just, it's a powerful, powerful chart for gold. And why do we use the sun? Well, because the sun is gold. Gold is in fact considered solidified sunlight, right? It is the grace of the sun that shines upon the king. And silver is solidified moonlight, and it's the moon. And in this chart, we can see that they do accurately represent those commodities because of their past action. So those are my thoughts on silver, where we have a short-term gain in the next few weeks, but then 9 weeks from now, like around mid-November, I think people will, for whatever reason, silver will have some issues. You know, bad news, things like that. But gold will continue all through 2021 to have, you know, very good returns for people. So that's silver and gold. And Bitcoin, I've made predictions here on YouTube that I think the first week of September is going to be bullish. We're already running up to that. Today is August 31st. So let's see what happens. But if you want more specific predictions, come to our class, Crypto Questions Answered. So you can see that here at spirittype.com/crypto questions answered. The link is below. It's donation basis. So click here and you can donate. If you want to join the lifetime, it's $300, and it's very, very well worth it, I think, because it gets you into a bunch of bonuses, lucky times, a whole bunch of stuff that I don't have time to cover here. But basically, you get to find out when your lucky times are for whatever you do, whether it's investing or, you know, making financial decisions or whatnot. So anyway, I hope this was useful to you, and I hope you can join us at the next Crypto Questions Answered class, which is every Friday, 12 o'clock Pacific, 3:05 Eastern. Recordings always provided, and we have a lively WhatsApp group community as well. So come join us for more news and insights about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, gold, silver, and everything else. All right. Hope to see you there. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.